What's up, people? Welcome to the very first Behind Crankworx podcast, presented by saxunderwear.com. Today, we've got plenty of stuff going on out here in Leger. We've got plenty of practices. We've got pump track practice in the morning, slopestyle practice pretty much going on throughout the day, and then we've got speed and style qualifiers, and this evening, whip-off World Championships. And then we've got the Pump Track Challenge, which is obviously live over on Crankworx.com. So I'm not going to hold these things up too much on the intros. We're going to hand over to our first guest, Eddie Masters. Let's do it. All right, first guest of the weekend, a newly reformed vegan, Eddie Masters.
Yeah.
So how's the vegan life treating you, dude, out here?
I wouldn't go as far to say I'm vegan because I don't actually read the back of all the stuff I buy. But we stayed with Mark Scott for a week prior to Fort William World Cup, and he was giving us a lot of shit about being athletes but not living the athlete lifestyle.
Okay.
So,
all right. Fair enough.
A pack of cookies and Cokes and stuff from Tesco's a day wasn't cutting it for Marky, so he bet us that we wouldn't be able to go vegan, and always wanted to rise to a challenge. Here we are.
It's the new enduro diet. Vegan diet, dude.
Yeah,
everyone's jumping on it.
I didn't really have much weight to lose, but lean, clean.
Yeah, looking lean, man. Looking lean, looking fast.
Yeah.
So we're currently doing pump track qualies.
Yep.
So we're going to keep this short and sweet. I guess just quickly, how's your downhill season going so far?
Well, it started off really well.
Yep.
Qualied 8th at Croatia, which I was pumped with. That's exactly like where I wanted to be. New bike, new team. And then, unfortunately, broke my chain in finals, so that sucked. And then going to Fort William, always kind of want to... I just think I'm just trying to go too fast. Did a chain, broke my chain at the top in time training, did a chainless run, came 12th. I was like, okay, we're on. And then a bit of rain came in, and before qualies, and I didn't actually have gloves with me. I ride gloveless, but as soon as there's any moisture around, I strap the gloves on. Yeah. And slipped a hand in qualies and had a huge crash. And that was where the I was on a number 20 plate, which last year would have had me protected, but under the new rules, I wasn't protected. So that was a bit of a bummer. Yeah. And then I was a bit Leo gang. I was a little bit nervous because now with the new system, it's a bit harder to qualify and stuff, so felt I didn't really ride how I wanted to. Made a couple of mistakes in finals and ended up 32nd, but building blocks.
Building blocks,
yeah.
Building blocks.
Yeah, I find when you're riding that wave of confidence, it's like it's so good, but it's so easy to lose it, and then you just know that you've just got to take baby steps to get back there. Yeah. So, but I'm just having fun.
Yeah. So that's the plan with Crankworx too. Just hang out, have some fun.
Yeah, I wasn't actually going to come here because I've got enduro next weekend, and I wanted to train. But then I was like, no, I'm just going to come and do all these events, which is basically training. Because a week, if I just go and pedal for a week, I'm not actually going to get much fitter. Yeah. So I'm kind of just using Crankworx to just fine tune the speed.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. What events are you doing?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing. We had slalom yesterday. Which is going to be run on Saturday finals,
night,
and then pump track today, whip off. We'll have pump track tonight,
right? And
then both the downhills on the weekend.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So just missing slopestyle this year.
Yeah,
Don't want to show those guys up, do you?
I think my invite got lost in the post, So doing everything that's manageable.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be sick.
All right, well, let's go get some pump track action in and have a good Crankworx.
Cheers for having me.
Word. All right, so I'm sat here with the one and only queen of Crankworx, a real queen, to kick off the podcast, with obviously Jill Kintner. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really great, thank you. Yeah, I'm really good. Enjoying the sun and just hanging out, making some content for the millions of people out there who listen to this podcast. Check that out.
Yeah, it's cool you came to Crankworx for the first time.
It is real cool. I'm on it. I'm honestly like so stoked that
Caught it on a sunny day. That's nice.
I know it's meant to rain this afternoon. Let's not go there.
That's alright. Pump track day. That's all good.
So obviously 4-time queen of Crankworx, coming into the event. How are you feeling? I know a lot of people have been saying about people becoming Crankworx athletes. Is that something that you're obviously not course of, but aware of becoming a Crankworx athlete?
I mean, I think he's just an athlete, but yeah, I tend to focus my efforts on Crankworx just because the return as an athlete is so much better than anything else. Like, you have back-to-back events, the prize money's good, the organization's like, they adapt, they like improve it every year, they change the courses, like, I don't know, just the people are so nice here, and for me it makes a lot of sense because I get to like showcase my all-around skills and like a different bike each day, so it's good for sponsors, and just the live coverage has gotten huge, and it keeps growing and growing, so I think people are looking for an alternative to World Cup, and for me I think it's great. It's doing good things for the communities as well, so a lot of positives that come from it.
Yeah, the first thing like I've really noticed is the organisation is like pristine, isn't it? It's absolutely perfect. I know, like obviously as an athlete, it's pretty tough because your schedules are so tight. Like we've literally got a quick chance to sit down right now. But how do you like adapt to the?
I mean, I think there's 4 stops now. I think Whistler sets the bar really high because they can control. They're from there and they can control the staff and the course builds and all that, and you come to Innsbruck and it's like there's different challenges in each place, and then France I think it's not the most organized, but they try, but there's been a lot of snags so far.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know what it is, but it's just, they don't have full control of these ones, so they make these stops. It's good, like it comes together in the end. It looks awesome. But
yeah, for sure.
They definitely, like had to add markers like in the middle of qualifying yesterday because there were people missing. I don't know. It was just like little random things.
That was a new track too, right?
Yeah. So it changes and evolves, and the more they have it, like Rotorua's had 4 times now. Like you start seeing the impact that the event has on the community. Like the little kids all have like wide range of bikes, they know who you are, like they're paying attention, and like they're adding more courses and they're building to it, and then the government is involved, like the tourism people are involved, like Crankworx is a big deal for
it is. It must be huge for like Leger, the hotels are pretty stacked out, there's people milling around, it's, like you say, it's good for the economy.
Yeah.
Mountain biking changing the world.
Yeah, we're like World Cup, it's like they're super inflexible and like they're just very rigid with their rules, and like I don't know, you go all the way across the world for one run, and well that's awesome, and it's like really entertaining to watch. It's maybe not the best for everybody, where like, a lot of these people come for a good time and they can do whip off and they can ride the trails and the bike park, and like it's more of like there's festivals and music and movies.
It's perfect. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm obviously for my first time out here, I'm really, really enjoying it so far. I was a little tired yesterday, but we're back in the game today.
Join the club.
You've been on the road for a while as well.
Yeah, it's just, there's back-to-back events and practice days, and we came from Innsbruck last week, so that one was only 2 events I had to do, so it was pretty chill, but now we're on to 4. So.
I'm keen to know as well how you stay sort of like well adapted to everything. Like, what's your training schedule like these days?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I put in a lot of work in the off season, and I got to do a lot of explosive stuff to be good at like pump drag and slalom, and even downhill's like a lot of intervals. So I'm not super. I ride trail bikes. I do everything, but I'm more of like an interval. Just a lot of
CrossFit
gym,
or anything like that?
There's a lot of gym work. Like I went and spent a month at Red Bull this year.
Oh, awesome.
With the trainers there, and like it's just next level.
Was that the stuff in Manchester?
Santa Monica.
Oh, in Santa Monica.
So they have like,
nice.
I mean, they have a US, and they have like a European, and they have a UK. Obviously, they just have different offices, but we have this like Swedish pair. He's like the lead sports science guy there, and he's like an ex-Swedish downhill ski racer.
Oh, right.
And he's just like the most positive guy ever, and everything you do is just like he gets you psyched, and it's just a really good environment with other there's like skateboarders there and like cliff divers and like F1 drivers come in, and like Chad Reed was there one day, and not to name drop it. Yeah, like each day you're just like you don't know what to expect, and you go in and you put your work in, and like that's all you have to do there is like train like 9 to 5. So I just have like 3 sessions a day, and you recover and you just eat. Jobs, life's real simple there.
Amazing, that sounds
But
cool.
you just can't stay there forever.
It's a shame, right?
Life catches up with you. Like you get home and it's like so much stuff hits you at once, so you can't just live in this like dream bubble. So most of the time training you're just by yourself doing work, like a program set up, and I just try to be on point with my skills and have enough fitness for downhill.
Well, it's paying off.
Yeah, I try. So far so good.
schedules are pretty hectic here. What's a typical day look like for an athlete here at Crankworx?
Well, it depends how many
Queen.
events. I mean, the queen thing's fleeting, isn't it? It's like you gotta re-earn it every year, so. Like, 4 years in a row is pretty good. I definitely had to earn my way a lot of events, but yeah, so I guess typical day today is like, we use today as an example anyway.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so 8 o'clock is pump track practice, qualifiers, and then I gotta do a couple site laps of downhill.
Right.
And then, I mean, they're having whip off. I don't think I'm gonna do it, but
Really?
it's kind of like, if I'm not, you know, you're kind of on this points battle, so then they whip off, and then they have pump track later tonight. So, I mean, the goal is to have fresh legs for pump track, because it's not that technical, so it's more about energy. So, so I mean, you're just out here until 10 o'clock at night.
It's a long day. It's a long day, especially when it's so hot too. You've got to stay hydrated and all that sort of stuff. So,
yeah, that's it. It's like switch bikes, come back, do it again. Like Saturday, there'll be like a downhill race and then a slalom race now. So it's like boom,
boom,
boom, boom.
boom, boom. It's tell me about like obviously the points race and stuff. Is that something that you thinking of in the back of your mind all the time, or?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of more just try to win the event.
Yeah, you're like a couple of 100 points ahead at this point.
Yeah, but it always like you can never count on it, and it always comes down to Whistler. And I try not to I try every day to ride like I've won nothing. I have lots to prove, and I hate getting beat. Like I hate it. Even qualifying last night, like I got pipped because like I would have done a rerun, but there wasn't enough time or light. They gave out the girls rerun, so I had like barely sleep. I was so upset that I blew it. So it keeps me. I'm super motivated to like win everything I do.
It's cool.
Yeah, the downhill, you're like, oh, there's like massive World Cup talent here right now. So that one, I'm like, well, you gotta
It's a good
collect
warm up,
points.
isn't it, for downhill? Like Eddie was just saying, he's sort of like coming here to take it a little bit chill, sort of like refresh a little bit, and then get back into it from here. Really.
Yeah, I think you can see it with the World Cup guys. They're just so relaxed here and like refreshed, and it's like they're here for fun.
Different vibes.
Yeah, so you show up and it's like everyone's kind of more chatty and like gets along and hangs out at different events. It's definitely a complete different vibe than the intensity of World Cup and everyone in their own truck hiding out. It's nice.
I'm going to hit you with that question about the state of women's mountain biking.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, state of women's mountain biking, I mean, it's obviously in a really good place. You know, the equal prize money thing that Crankworx has done is amazing. Me and Darren chatted about that on the episode that we did together.
I think they actually started it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Years ago.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's like another reason. It's like you want to support events that care about you, you know. Obviously women's mountain biking is probably has the most room to grow and improve, and we just see like even at the local level where I live, it's like so many girls ride, or ladies or whatever, ride bikes, and little girls, and it's definitely different than 10 years ago, that's for sure. So companies are paying attention and making specific gear and specific bikes, and like there's definitely a market, you know. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to see it grow. Whereabouts are you based then?
I'm from Bellingham, Washington.
Oh, okay.
So near Seattle, kind of near Vancouver, sort of.
Okay.
But yeah, it's great to see it, and it's nice that I can have some sort of impact. Like, I mean, I feel like I just ride bikes, but like I get messages from people that are like, oh, you inspire me or whatever, and it's like, well, that's awesome. I'm like serious. I mean, I do community like projects, and I do little women's classes, and because it's like racing for me, but like I like to give back to the community. I've been on the pump track, like we built one in our park across the street.
Oh wow.
Had to go to all these city council meetings and get it all approved and raise money, and I go out there and like volunteer a lot of time on the building and cut the grass.
That's awesome. That's real cool. That's real cool. And have you seen like a bit of a spurt of new people coming to ride and stuff?
Oh yeah, it's insane the level of kids.
Really?
Like, I saw an 18-month kid do the whole loop. Like I showed him how to push with his feet on the top of the thing, and he made it all the way around. Like we built them a strider track, and they outgrew it in like 2 months.
Really?
And then they're all onto the big kid track, and you're like, well, you gotta get, if you can't get around, you gotta be on the big kid track. It's cute, and like, you know, to reach that many people just through riding bikes is such a, like pump track is the most accessible thing. It's not that like that's what I want to be a specialist in, but I think just to reach the masses and young kids, that's like the most successful thing you could have,
And
right?
accessible as well for those guys too.
Imagine one being in a city, you know, like kids have never seen biking. It's like you can bring it there, and it's like a little stadium, and it's like intimate setting, and I I don't know, anybody can do
You
it.
try to.
It's not
Maybe
like
not as well as you,
slopestyle.
but yeah.
It's not like slopestyle where you're like, I would never.
True.
So far out of reach, it's just like so easy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild seeing the slopestyle course like for the first time. It looked totally different than TV. It's insane.
It's like you see Rogue Atkins doing like quarter whatever. I don't know where you would begin or how people could break into that.
It's certainly
It's awesome.
special. Yeah.
I love seeing people under pressure do their.
Yeah.
That's like across all sports, like Federer, like whatever. I love when people are like pressure's on and they have to do it. You know.
How do you deal with pressure?
I just like appreciate the opportunity for it and like kind of sit in the start when it's like a final, and I just like that's when I like get so psyched because I practice at home for those moments, you know. And, like,
Has it eased over the years or not, or is it still like the same kind
no,
of?
I mean, I definitely like the competition's got better, so some of them are like they haven't been as hard in the past, but now it's like getting a lot closer. So you gotta stay on your game.
Stay on your game.
It's fun when you like get a perfect run in the final. It's just, like that's what keeps you going, I guess.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Awesome. All right. Have a great Crankworx. Catch you soon. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm here with Elmar, and he's from SRAM. And what exactly is your job here, dude?
I'm the European Marketing Manager for the MTB category.
Awesome. All right, and obviously you're here at Crankworx. You support the entire Crankworx sort of like season. But what exactly do you do while you're here?
Well, there's not only one thing that we do here. We have multiple responsibilities and also desires also to be involved here. And well, our number one thing is first of all to show presence for all of our riders who compete. We got so many disciplines here, and the attendance athlete-wise from a SRAM standpoint is pretty heavy.
Right. Yeah.
So we not only have the responsibility, but the desire to make sure that our guys do really well here.
That's cool. Yeah.
And particularly with this being a global event series, it's important for the guys who travel without huge support staff that we provide an infrastructure that helps them to perform on the highest level. And that's not only fixing their bikes, that's also looking after the guys' personal needs, giving them a place to stay while the venue, while the event is happening.
Yeah.
And making sure that they have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
If they got any questions, any doubts, or any challenges that they need to overcome,
Okay.
being so far away from home. Yeah, and then on top of that, of course, these are so popular events that we need to take advantage of being here for all the consumers, for the cyclists. Everybody who wants to participate in this spectacular event also needs to have an opportunity to touch SRAM at a certain point.
Yeah, for sure. So how many athletes do you guys look after while you're here? Do you know?
Oh, that's a tough question. Actually, I don't have the number, the precise number.
A lot.
Ready, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
I would probably guess. If you look at slopestyle, it's probably a good 10 guys in the top ranks that we're looking after. Obviously, way more downhill athletes, because a lot of our World Cup athletes use this event as a little break from the World Cup routine, but still, keep the momentum going and keep the race routine going. So we need to look after those guys as well as everybody else. There's experts for pump track, for across the board disciplines that make Crankworx so specific.
Yeah.
I would say all in all, probably up to 50 athletes. that we
Wow,
look after.
crazy. And if one of these athletes has a problem on the bike, they wheel it over here. You've got technicians here, obviously working away just to get them back up and running, and obviously service stuff as well while you're here.
Right. Yeah. So whatever the problem would be that they have, we are here and able to fix it. Yeah, this is the full World Cup support team here.
Right.
So we got everything from all the tools you need to all the spare parts, well, that's also our commitment to running huge athlete programs. Being able to provide that at all times.
This, yeah. Well, it's an amazing setup. Obviously, we're stood here in the workshop. It's pretty wild. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Cool, man. Well, have a great Crankworx. Good to meet you. Really appreciate your time, and no doubt catch up soon again.
Thank you.
Nice one, dude. Boom.
Test.
1, 2, 3.
-6, -12.
You know about that stuff.
I know. I'm always
Dude,
using the same thing. Yeah. You want it in between the 6 and the 12. We're peaking right now. Like,
peaking.
if I went,
You can just,
it'd be a little bit too
You
much.
can bring that down there.
There we go. Yeah, I always go to 69. That's right.
Oh, 69.
But it depends on which microphone you have, too. So.
69 is always the one.
Just coincidentally, I wasn't even trying to be straight. You know?
All right, quick introduction. Obviously, you don't need any introduction, but I'm sat here with the one and only McCaul.
It's like we have an audience, but we don't.
I know, it's weird.
We're
People will be listening, which is really scary still. But yeah, we could pretend.
We're in a room full of couches with nobody in them, but we're talking to people. Who aren't here.
We are.
No, Natalie's here. Natalie, we have one person audience.
Hey, Natalie.
Natalie Gruther from Crankworx, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why everybody has a smile on their face.
Not just the underwear. So,
what's that? Yeah, but we won't.
We're raw.
But we won't.
This stays in 100%. You're involved.
Oh, yes.
Cool, dude. Really appreciate you doing this. You were obviously one of the top guys on the hit list when I got here, and yeah, just cool just to sit and riff for a little while, man. I mean, it's my first time here in Leger. So far, so good. Enjoying
amazing, isn't it?
Weather's beautiful. It's nice to cool down, sitting here a little bit. It's been sweating all day.
You're stoked, man. When this place is good like this, it kind of seems unbeatable.
Yeah.
And it's blue sky, and all the lifts are running, especially when the event's in town. This place is nuts.
It's real cool.
Yeah,
it's
the
real
first
cool.
year we came here, it was a little earlier in the year, and it was crazy rainy, so nobody really got to see this place for what it is. But when it's like this, you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to leave. It's
amazing.
insane.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to leave. Might stay.
Yeah.
So I think, kick things off, like, tell me about your transition from being a rider to being a commentator.
Yeah.
Like, how's that been going?
Yeah, it's good, man. Like, I always knew I liked doing that commentating stuff. It's weird. I didn't think about it until way later when I was already I'd already done this for a couple of seasons, the commentating at Crankworx, was that I used to jump in the booth at my brother's baseball games. But I didn't even think about it until later. I was like, oh man, I guess I've liked this for a long time.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm going to be blabbering when I'm watching an event anyways.
Yep.
So I might as well put a microphone in front and blabber to somebody, you know, so I can annoy the entire audience all around the world rather than just the people who are within earshot.
No, man, your commentary's awesome. Like,
Thanks,
it's real
man.
good. Real good. And obviously you're
Appreciate
still
that.
keeping your toe in there, like riding the course and everything this morning, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's two different reasons. A, it's an excuse to go riding, which we can all use more excuses to go riding, any excuse we can get. And then also, if you're talking about something that you've also kind of experienced, all of a sudden it makes it easier.
Yeah.
So try to ride as many of the courses as I possibly can. I bring this one bike, because traveling with two bikes is like, you know, not the most enjoyable experience. So I've got this one bike that'll do, it won't do anything perfect, it won't do any one thing perfect, but it'll do everything decently well.
Right.
So it's like it's a modified trail bike. It's like a Remedy, but it's got a short rear end, it's got 26-inch wheels, and you can just, like, whatever's going on, you can drop in and be good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you think of the course here then? Has there been any changes from last year?
Yeah, tons of changes from last year. The top drop is a little bit smaller. The second feature isn't as much of a transfer.
Right.
And then most notably, the cannon log. Last year, it was really hard to scrub your speed for it. You just had to lay on the brakes the whole way into it. Now they put like this big roller. Everybody's calling it the boob or the nipple. And so now you can use that to kind of like slow down up it and then accelerate down into it. Yeah. And it's way steeper than before, but everything else is pretty similar. But yeah,
I've seen a few people like breaking up the face of it, almost like trying to scrub it off and then pick back up afterwards.
Yeah, honestly, it's so cool to be able to ride it, because then you appreciate when they do tricks off of something like that, how hard it is to judge the speed for it, period.
Yeah.
But then judge speed for different tricks, because it's going to be a different speed to tail but than it would be to flip it. And you watch guys like Reeder, who's coming in like first practice, learns the speed, he's already got it figured out. He's like scrubbing into it because he's so confident he's going to have the right speed. Then he's popping flips. And on a jump that's so easy to land flat, he's landing at the top. You're like, whoa, he's a master. Yeah. But the course is good, man.
Good. Just rewind really quickly. What's been the hardest thing, like, about becoming a commentator?
Yeah.
I know you get asked that a lot. I'm so sorry.
No, I've actually never done an interview like this about commentating at all. But the hardest thing is probably, like, that I've experienced, period, commentating, is doing it for a sport that you don't do, right? So Crankworx is pretty sweet because I'm enough of a fan of all the disciplines that I like follow it enough to where I kind of know what's going on, and then I do a ton of like prep and
and have notes and stuff like that. But I'm already starting with a foundation of knowledge and like enthusiasm for it. But doing a sport that you don't know, that's been the most challenging thing. I've like gone in and just like completely crammed like it's for a university exam or something, which I wouldn't know what that's like.
No, me either.
It's like, okay, it's like a high school exam or something like that, but for a sport that you don't know anything about. So that's been the hardest part for sure.
Right, okay.
The mountain bike thing is like, as long as you love it and you're paying attention, then it's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What's riding like for you these days then? Like, do you still? I'm gonna guess obviously you find time to ride.
Yeah.
But what do you ride? Are you trail bike sort of guy these
Yeah.
days?
So if I'm just riding just for fun at home, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I live in Bend, Oregon, and we've got tons of trails. So depending on what time of year it is, if I'm just going out for a ride, if it's the winter time, there's like an area where you can get like a good hour loop, and it's like kind of a tech climb, and then super fast downhill. You're going like 40 miles per hour, so you can guarantee you're going to get a good rush on if you do that ride. But then if it's the summertime or the springtime and everything's opened up, nothing's under snow, then there's kind of no end to it. Right. You can ride, like I could go to the like where the Black Sage Fest is and ride like downhill bikes over big jumps. And if Bachelor's open, you can go ride lift access, like sweet smashing downhill, and then tons of mellow cross country trails, but also a handful of like public dirt jump parks too. So in this time of year, like right now we're at the beginning of summer, there you can just ride anything. And so it just comes down to the like being at home during those times and then having free time when I'm home, because I travel a lot. So when I get home, it's like time to be dad, and it's time to get caught up on like stuff that's not so fun, like on the computer. And so when I do get a chance to go ride, like depending on what time of year it is, it could be limitless, or if it's a winter time, you might be relegated to one trail. But,
right.
But in terms of like, not just recreational riding, I just enjoy any opportunity to go do film trips or something like that. Because even when I was competing, it was always like 50-50, like just as focused on competing as I've always been on like, opportunities to go do video projects and stuff. So whether that be Neural Disorder or like the collective movies that turned into the Anthill movies, and and then I do a bunch of stuff with TGR now, and they're working on putting together another bike film. Right. So when those opportunities come around, that's when I get the most excited, because then I get to go like, stress myself out and challenge myself and do some stuff that's like, that takes everything you've learned as a bike rider through all the years and puts it, it all reaches, it combines at the center of the road. Yeah. So those are my favorite things to do these days.
That's cool, man. That's
cool.
Do
that. Love it.
Obviously, you're a dad, obviously. Became a dad. But
I don't know how it happened. It's weird. I'm still trying to figure that out. I've been Googling it. I'm like, how in the... I got 2 of these things now, and I don't know what I did. I missed that class.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. What, traveling? Still enjoying traveling and stuff? Like, is it harder being away now you're a dad? Or?
Yeah, it's way harder. So much harder. It used to be like you don't have a care in the world. You're just only focused on what's in front of you. Oh, this is what's going on this trip? Cool. But yeah, traveling is like, my wife has to take care of both the kids by herself, and she's home working and everything. So when I'm gone, she's just got to do everything all by herself. And so I'm always thinking about that. Like, okay, what time is it? It's 4 o'clock in Europe. That means they're just getting up because it's 7 a.m. there. So I'll get a little FaceTime there. But if it's a broadcast day, then we start meetings at 5 and whatnot. So kind of only really talk to the family once a day, which is totally hard, not enough. So depending on what country you're in and what time zone that puts you in, it can be easier or harder, and Europe is the hardest.
Really?
Even New Zealand's way easier because you're in a different day. It's like 21 hours or something like that. So you're only 3 hours different, just a different day. Yeah. So yeah, these are the hardest ones for sure. But yeah, regardless, there's still, like, I started traveling more once I stopped competing, like, ironically.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm still going to like all the Crankworx ones, so that's a lot of travel. And then I got this opportunity to host this TV show, which is a travel-based TV show. So there's a whole lot of traveling with that. And then anything that, a sponsor throws my way, it's always good to say yes. So that usually means traveling than any film project. So I'm away a ton, and so when I'm home, I try to just like make up for lost time.
That's
just
cool.
dad it up.
Do you feel like your career, obviously, as you stop riding as much or competing, like it's gone in a different direction because of like social media and YouTube and video and all that sort of stuff? Like,
I mean,
that wave of...
There's goods and bads with that whole thing for sure, but it is the one really good thing is, take it back a few steps. When I decided that I was going to stop competing, I fully was going to accept the fact that it might mean that I was going to lose all my sponsors, and the whole mountain bike thing might, that phase might be over. But luckily it wasn't, and things, just went a different direction. And the prevalence of social media definitely helps. I definitely tried to. I'm always on trips where we're like focusing on a project, that's going to live somewhere else besides social media. So sometimes if I'm on a shoot, I'm not really posting a ton. So it's kind of like, all right, social media is a way that a rider can maintain relevance and a career without competing, but you also have to be good at it, which sometimes I'm not, and it's just because you're on a shoot and the goal is to like get footage for that movie that's going to come out in 8 months or something like that, and you're like, oh, can I get a hold of that shot because I need to post it on social media? No, because then it's going to blow it, or if it's something like this, it's like we've got a broadcast every day and I'll go ride the course, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get a hold of a photo from a photographer or whatever. So when I'm home, that's one of the other things that I'm doing. I'm like, okay, gotta take care of emails, invoices, track the content that has been coming out from web videos, whatnot, be dad, and then like group up all the stuff that maybe somebody captured and that I can have permission to post, and then I'll be good posting. I'll do a post a day if I'm like home for 2 weeks, and that's when I all of a sudden look like I'm good at social media. But if I'm traveling, I look like I'm horrible at it.
Let's chat slopestyle real quick, man.
Sweet.
The season's kind of hotting up. Nikolai and Brett have got one each. So who do you have a pick? Are you allowed to make a pick for this one, or?
Oh man.
Have you seen anything in practice?
Which is a pick based not on favorites, but based on just like who's looking like what. It's super hard to count Brett out of anything. Yeah. Like he would have been a great pick if you're like a betting man for last week also. But the nature of the game, anything can happen. If you're pushing yourself that hard, you could mess up. And you watch him in practice, he's pretty much doing his run time after time after time. And it gets to a point where he's so dialed at it, but there's like 3 hours left to practice. You feel like you want to just put him in a cryogenic freezing chamber and just be like, you stay preserved until finals, and then do exactly what you just did.
You out and go.
Yeah. Like last week, he had that flip opposite double whip. He stomped it perfect right before he went up for his run. And then, of course, in his run, he bobbled it. Yeah. And the judges said that if he didn't bobble that, he would have for sure won. And, smart money was on him last week, but the run that Nikolai did was ridiculous. You only realize how ridiculous it is because he does those tricks, and you just expect that out of him. But if you break it down from feature to feature, and you go, all right, whip the first drop, which was the mellowest thing of his run, and then it just got crazy after that, like 1080 off the jump, the biggest jump, 3-whip, like I could name them all, but you know what it was. Yeah. And then, like, it's ridiculous. But a guy like Brett, he had 2 tricks that have never been done on a mountain bike. Yep. In his run, and he bookended his run with that. So how in the world do you beat that?
How do you judge that?
And he's really good on courses that are quirky too. And this course here in Leger is a little quirky. Smart money's on him, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's looking really good too. He rode kind of injured last week also.
Really?
Yeah, his wrist was messed up because the first time he tried to flip up that flat drop, he had a massive crash. Right. And so now he's had a week to chill and heal up, and so he's even stronger now than he was last week.
I didn't see him ride the practice I was watching. Mm-hmm. Did he sit one out? I don't know.
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he rode really, really hard early morning practice. Probably 9:30 till noon or something like that. Mm-hmm. However many hours that is. It was just nonstop hammers.
Bangers.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Amazing.
Ridiculous. Yeah, something like that.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a great Crankworx. No doubt I'm going to bump into you around.
I know. We'll do knuckle bumps the whole week. Bam,
there
it is.
All right, we're here at Crankworx, Spank Whip-Off World Champs. Stood at the side of Craig Evans with a fresh new haircut. Craig, what's going on in Whip-Off, dude?
Going down, man.
What about you?
I'm struggling. I've had two like whip to cases, a couple of over jumps, and with weird stiff back whips, so I've sacked it in.
So what's the plan for the rest of the weekend, man?
I've got 2 downhill races.
You doing both?
Both the downhills, yeah.
Okay.
And
chilling?
And dual.
You're doing dual?
Saturday night.
Oh, of course,
dual.
it's rescheduled, isn't it?
Dual,
Saturday.
Yeah.
Perfect, man.
Downhills are good. We had a good day of downhill today. it's just rough and fast and scary. So
It's been a while since you raced the downhill, or no?
yeah. Last year, and I've not rode my downhill bike since last year. So
Maybe not.
it's good to get back on it.
Of course it is, mate. Of course it is. And how does the track compare to a World Cup track?
Similar, I guess.
Similar.
Speed, I don't know, man. Yeah, similar speed. Better, I reckon. It's way sicker. It's just a sick track, proper downhill track.
Good stuff. Right, let's rock on. Catch ya.
See you later.
All right, we're here with our dog. Just took the win. Whip off world champs. How was that, dude?
Oh man, it was a blast as always. It's my favorite event at Crankworx.
Yeah.
It seems like a long way to come just to do a whip off, but it's just too fun, man. I wouldn't miss it.
Awesome, dude. Are you doing any other events while you're here, or?
Yeah, I'm just like racing a couple downhill races and speed and style. I did slalom.
Right.
Just an overall participant.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you crack on. Easy as that. Cheers, dude.
Cheers, man.
Alrighty, thanks a bunch for listening, folks. If you have enjoyed listening, don't forget to leave us some feedback over on iTunes or SoundCloud and Spotify. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode, but if you do have any guest suggestions, please fire them over our way over on Instagram. It's at the hktpodcast, HKT podcast. And you can keep up to date with everything that's going on here over on crankworx.com. Peace out.